Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
It's been a good week here. It is February 27th, 1999, and this is the first time we pressed record this week.
Yeah, we didn't have multiple attempts at beginning this today. We'd never do that.
We would though. We would make sure that the show is the best possible product for you to consume. That's what this is all about.
Yeah, I mean,
making products to consume
and not having mute on. That's always a plus too.
Yeah, it is a plus. Yeah, not being distracted is a plus.
Lots of pluses. You know what would be a plus, but is today a negative?
What's a negative?
That I have a cold.
Yeah, she does. Why would that be a plus?
What? Well, because the plus would be not having a cold, but then
Hell yeah, I've got a cold.
I said too many words.
We've finally done it, everyone. We got her to say too many words. We did it. After 5+ years, she said too much.
Oh, now I'm done.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of done though, Carol, let me pull up this story for you. Paper. I'm not sure exactly which one's going to come up first, but okay. The X-Files. Xena. That's what I meant. Xena's kind of like the X-Files. It starts with X.
No, not in any way.
No, I mean like it's the X-Files. It's the Xena Files.
Okay.
Xena, warrior princess. She's riled up some Hindus.
Why? What happened?
In her latest episode, the image of Xena, warrior princess, cozying up with Indian deity Krishna has failed to amuse numerous Hindu groups.
Yeah, that wasn't smart.
Around the country that are downright furious about an upcoming episode of the hit adventure series. The episode features Lord Krishna engaging in fictional activities, helping Xena save her lesbian...
As opposed to, like, real-life activities?
Yeah, exactly. You mean Xena's not a documentary? Helping Xena save her lesbian lover, says Trusta Krishnada's press secretary at the World Vaishnava Association, who adds that the fictionalization of Krishna is an insult to Hindus everywhere because it's fictionalization.
I mean, I can see that. Like, I don't think like Christians would love it if they were like, "Hey, let's throw Jesus in Xena the Warrior Princess and have them snuggle."
Jesus is like, "We'll help save your lesbian lover, but first, snuggles."
You know what's awful is like I used to love the show and I kind of dropped off watching it and I didn't even know she had a lesbian lover.
Yeah.
Is it Gabrielle? Now I need to watch and find out because
oh my god,
I kind of always wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Just saying.
It's a beacon under the hood, I guess, so to speak. Yeah, I never watched Xena with you, so contrary to popular belief, people, we do watch separate things sometimes.
We do, yeah. We have separate interests and everything.
No, I mean, like, we're joined at the hip, I think.
I mean, we do live outside of this room sometimes. It's not much.
Every once in a while, we do something.
We do.
Every once in a while, we have a conversation off tape, off air.
Which is pretty rare.
You know what else is pretty rare, though?
Steak.
Fashionable things happening in New York City. I don't know. New York City 99. It's the fall-winter fashion show. Menswear splits between stark, utilitarian, and cheerful, colorful clothes. So we've got the Pele look. Designer Mark Buck Buchanan of Auburn Hills went the colorful route with his logo-laden collection. All the Pele stuff.
So there's a designer from Michigan who's part of the New York fashion show?
Yeah, you got it.
That's cool. Good for him.
Then there's, Kenneth Coles.
I do not.
DKNY with a giant sweater.
A giant sweater.
Yeah, look, see, this dude is swimming in the sweater.
Oh, yeah.
Nautica.
I recognize Nautica.
And Maurice Malone, which looks like, this guy looks like he looks simultaneously like a hitman who has decided to double as a male stripper. Because those are tearaway leather stripper pants. 100%, aren't they?
And I'm sure they cost $300.
But then he's wearing a button-up shirt with a tie and a collared shirt with a tie, but he looks like he's got a gun harness around him.
Wow. That is quite the
fingerless
ensemble.
gloves.
Yeah.
I love fashion. Even fashion for the men now are a bunch of stuff you'd never see a guy wear on the street. This Pella thing, I could see somebody wear that outfit. Because it's jeans, a t-shirt, and a leather jacket. You know, big baggy jeans. As is the fashion. Mm-hmm. But do you have a pair of jeans with the giant bottoms, you know? Like the giant cuffs at the bottom or whatever?
I don't know about giant. I have some that are like medium. I would trip on giant. I mean, my pants drag on the floor because I'm so short. So.
I had one pair of jeans last year that were like that, but not for me. It's not. I know a lot of people that wear the big giant jeans where everything's falling down and stuff like that, but not for me. Also, something that might not be for me, Carol. Are you aware that Pentium has come out with a new chip?
No.
Is it too smart? Because protests are greeting it.
What?
Computer chip IDs its owner, and that raises howls.
That's stupid.
Personal computers with the fastest new Intel microprocessor available hit the market on Friday over the protests of consumer groups. They said Intel's Pentium 3 chip, which acts as the computer's brain, contains an insidious route into its owner's privacy. Each of the new chips has a unique code that identifies the chip and therefore the computer it is built into.
Okay.
Intel announced the feature in January, saying that it would add security in such dealings as internet banking and commerce, where both the seller and buyer want to know exactly with whom they're dealing.
That makes sense.
But groups like the Center for Democracy and Technology argue the chips allow website owners or government agencies to track the websites visited and transactions done by particular PCs, thereby invading owners' privacies. Ooh, so then they could, like, you know how you get pop-up ads and stuff like that?
Yeah, I hate that.
They could target pop-up ads for what you like to buy. Interesting.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem that insidious to me, but yeah.
I mean, they're talking about the invasion of privacy. Like, what are you worried that they're going to see that you watch porn? Because guess what? Everybody watches porn. It's okay.
You're outing yourself right now. No, it's so maybe this is dumb of me, or maybe this is really, really smart of me, but I look at the internet as a public forum, as a public place. I don't think that I have an expectation of privacy on the internet.
Really?
Not really, no.
Even in your own home?
No, because I'm not in my own home. When I'm in cyberspace, I'm surfing the World Wide Web. I'm out in the world.
But you're still in your own home.
No, I know, but it's a public forum, right? Everyone is there talking to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I see that, but I mean, like, you're only putting out there what you want to put out there to who you want to put it out there to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to be careful about what you put on the internet.
I'm just saying you may not want the people who own this chip or whatever to be privy to all of the stuff that you're putting out there for specific people.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think it's better if everyone just goes in with no expectation of privacy for the internet.
Sure. I mean, I can see that too.
Now, what about Marilyn Manson and Rose
him?
McGowan?
Are they together?
Yeah. We talked about that when we talked about Jawbreaker.
Oh, yeah. It's so fucked up, though.
It is fucked up. Fun rock couple Marilyn Manson and Rose McGowan That's a bit of editorializing. Kind of reenacted for cameras in L.A. last weekend the Kennedy assassination.
What?
All for art. They were filming a video for Manson's song Coma White from the Mechanical Animals CD. Manson is shown sitting next to McGowan in a pink suit and matching Jackie-style hat. Manson's bandmates serve as Secret Service agents. Witnesses say the shoot included barely dressed women, transvestites in G-strings, heavily tattooed folk, and a man on stilts portraying the clientele at Jack Ruby strip joint? ? No taste, you cry? Director Samuel Bayer said the shoot was bloodless, adding, "We didn't feel like it was appropriate to actually act out the assassination." That's not what conspiracy theorists say, Sam.
What?
I don't know. That's another bit of editorializing right at the end. That's what you want to do. Editorializing at the beginning and at the end, and then facts in the middle, I guess.
I guess. I don't get the end, though. That's okay.
I don't know either. I don't know what they're talking about. I know conspiracy theorists about the JFK assassination, sure, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Who's Sam?
The director.
Oh.
The director of the music video.
Oh.
That they were filming.
Okay.
Where Rose McGowan was Jackie Gay. Do I have to read the story again?
No, please don't. I got it.
What do you think about that? What do you think about Marilyn Manson's music?
I like Marilyn Manson's music.
Wow. I'm not a fan.
I know. But I am. I enjoy it. It's got, I don't, love every song or whatever, but, some of them are pretty decent. Beautiful People.
Sure. They did that remake of Sweet Dreams, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Sweet Dreams are
I like that
made
too.
of these.
The original is great, but this is, the darker version.
Yeah, it's all faux dark shit, though. It's dumb. I don't buy him as a real dark person.
I don't need him to be a real dark person to enjoy his songs.
He was also Paul from the Wonder Years, right? He grew up to be Marilyn Manson.
Really? He was the dork?
No.
Oh, what the fuck?
That's an urban legend that goes around. Like how Mark Paul Gosselaar started doing steroids and died.
I didn't hear that one either.
Yeah, that's another urban legend that goes around.
Huh.
We did the show the movie Urban Legend.
Yes, we did.
Remember. A Names and Faces I-Team report. I don't know what the fuck any of that means. What's an I-Team? Martha Plimpton, seen in Parenthood, and the just opened 200 Cigarettes, which we were going to see, but then we didn't see because we saw the movie that we saw this week, reports that sexual harassment is thriving in Hollywood. Actresses often must pretend not to know what they're talking about, she says, to impress directors. She finds herself dumbfounded that they're still patting actresses and calling us baby.
So, I'm sorry, how does pretending you don't know what you're talking about impress them? I get that might be the expectation and how they want you to behave, but it's certainly not impressive.
No, okay, maybe impressed is the wrong word.
Yeah.
But to, appeal to directors.
Yeah, or appease their egos.
Mm-hmm. When you don't return their flirt, actors become very sexually aggressive. It's like retarded, she says.
Oh, that's a lovely word there. Are you serious right now?
So I'm just reading the quote, Carol.
But, bitch.
Oh, wow. She's reporting very seriously about sexual harassment.
And she's saying it's like retarded? Are we Cher from Clueless? And, how about think about people's feelings? That's not okay word.
Okay, I agree with you. But I kind of like how you keep looking at the paper like she's going to spring out of it so that you can beat her up.
She's a bitch. I'm sorry.
She was in the Goonies.
I don't care. She's still a bitch. Being in the Goonies does not excuse her.
Oh my God. What the fuck? I like how you gloss over everything that she said and all the implications of that to just focus on this.
I don't know. I guess my cold is making me a little
oh my God.
angry.
Yeah, you're irritable today.
And aggressive.
Oh, speaking of angry and aggressive.
And retarded.
Wow. Wow. Oh my God, I've never seen hypocrisy in real time like that. We watched The Other Sister.
Well, I'm sorry. I would like, no, if you use it correctly, it's okay.
That's the correct way to use it. If you use it correctly for an awesome joke. Oh my God. Oh, that was hilarious. But anyway, so we watched Juliette Lewis and Giovanni Ribisi in The Other Sister.
Okay, so Juliette Lewis in this movie, I'm so impressed by her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, I totally would believe that she is mentally retarded, which is, okay to say.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
But, like, seeing her in other things, like when we saw her in that vampire movie, right? Like, it's like night and day.
What vampire movie did we see her in?
With the feet. Remember, there was a whole thing with their feet.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Out of Sight? No, it was
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah. From Dusk Till Dawn. That's right. I forgot she was
and Natural Born Killers.
She was a Natural Born Killer. That's Swedish for bear, Bjorn.
How does she do that with her face? Where, like, all you do is, like, look at her and like, you can see that she's supposed to be delayed or whatever.
Sure.
And, like, in a normal day, she doesn't look like, how do you do that? Like, it's impressive and amazing. Just like Leonardo DiCaprio in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. He did the same thing. Like, I find that really impressive.
Interesting. So what did you think of the movie, Carol?
I really liked the movie. It was very emotional and entertaining. What did you think of the movie?
I thought this movie fucking sucked.
Did you really?
No. But, okay, I have problems with the movie.
Okay.
First of all, I don't think anyone that wrote the movie was written by Gary Marshall and Bob Brunner, I think his name is. He worked on Happy Days, and he worked on a lot of other shows, The Odd Couple, and shows that Gary Marshall produced. So Gary Marshall obviously famously produced a bunch of television shows, Laverne and Shirley, I think Mork and Mindy, because that was an offshoot of Happy Days. Happy Days, probably most famously. And the Bob Burner, or whatever his name is, wrote that episode where Fonzie jumps over the shark.
Oh my God.
Which has now become a thing, like I saw a thing on the internet, there are jump over the shark moments or something like that. And it's a list of different shows and at what point they started to go downhill.
Okay.
Because people think that moment is emblematic of when Happy Days started to go downhill.
Sure.
Anyway, they wrote this movie together and Gary Marshall directed it. I don't think either of them know anything about mental retardation or developmental delays or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Because these two characters are they're like I don't know exactly even how to they're like wind up monkeys basically, right? Where it's like they say the perfect thing at the perfect time. Everything is comedically timed. It's like you know what I mean? Like everything is timed for tension, drama. Isn't
that just good writing?
No, it's bad writing because I feel the artifice in it. I don't feel a lot of realism. I think that their portrayal of these kind of mental impairments it's surface. It's like it's not the reality of what this is like. This isn't Dustin Hoffman and Rain Man.
Okay.
Studying what people with severe autism, right? That's what he has, or
I don't remember
because he's what they used to call an idiot savant.
Sure. Okay.
But it's not like that, where it's like a very realistic portrayal of that. This is, and I'm talking about the writing now. It's all written very like who came up with sex? I think it was Madonna. Like, ha ha ha. It's a funny line, but it's not. I don't know. I didn't find it. I didn't find it realistic to what mental retardation is actually like in real life. That's one. It has the nuance of like Tom Hanks playing Forrest Gump, basically, which I also don't think is a realistic portrayal of what it's like. But he's not. He's on the cusp, so at least that's maybe both of them are. I don't know. It's a little more acceptable as he's on that cusp. They point that out in the movie. So that's one. Two, I was slightly disappointed how much of like paint by numbers this movie felt. It's a romantic comedy, and the twist is, I mean, it is. It has all the hallmarks of a romantic comedy movie. If you break down, if you strip away all the elements and you break down the 3-act structure, the plot point by plot point, it's a romantic comedy. There's not as much comedy in this. It's more drama.
It is very much.
But it's a romantic comedy, plot point by plot point. And it felt, but the twist is that the romantic lead in the movie is mentally handicapped, and it felt a little paint by numbers, like I said. I wanted it to be maybe slightly more innovative. And it's rushy to me, especially the beginning. There's some pacing problems in the movie to me because the beginning is rushy. So like to kind of, I mean, obviously, hopefully you've seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, before I get into all the rest of my problems with the movie, I will say I do think it's probably worth seeing. So go and see it if you want to. Pause this.
Probably worth seeing. It's an incredibly charming movie. It is very worth seeing.
Okay, well, let me get to it. So the plot of the movie is that Diane, what's her name? You know,
Keaton.
Yeah, Diane Keaton, and I can't think of the guy from Picket Fences. The cop from Picket Fences.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
Tom Skerritt. Tom Skerritt and Diane Keaton are parents to 3 daughters, 2 of which are quote-unquote normal, I guess, and then the other one has, mental retardation. She has become a problem. They're rich, like really rich.
Right.
And she's become a problem, I guess. She's probably, would you say, maybe 8 or 9 when this happens?
I was thinking more like 10 or 11, but yeah, okay. Somewhere in there.
I'd go with 10. So they send her away to school, to a special school.
Because she pushes a boy down the stairs of their house because he was making fun of her.
And she almost set the house on fire with the other girls in there. She says that. She says that during her rant.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, they send her away to a private school where for some reason there's very, very limited family interaction. And then when she's either 17 or 18, because it's like high school she's graduating from, when she's either 17 or 18, she gets to go home. But
she doesn't actually graduate from high school. They give her a certificate of completion, which I think is kind of bullshit. Yeah, but she is able to go to a college-type school. So maybe it was like a GED? I don't know. She got some sort of equivalency. It's a special school. But like they sent her away and everything, right? So she comes home, and all this happens in the first maybe 20 to 25 minutes of the movie, of the 2 hour and 10 minute long movie. She wants to go to school. She comes back and she's like, I really want to go to college, a vocational school. Her mom's like, no. And then finally her mom's like, okay. She meets a boy. Her mom's like, no, you shouldn't be hanging out with boys. And her mom's like, okay, you can hang out with boys. I want to get my own apartment because this guy has his own apartment. No, you shouldn't get your own apartment. Okay, you can get your own apartment. So those 3 things happen in the space of the first 20 minutes. This is growth that should be happening throughout the movie. You know what I mean? I think this stuff should have been more spaced out. Everything happens bang, 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 and then we slow down. I guess. I mean, I feel like they were setting up the stage for the romantic comedy, basically, and that's why they put so much backstory in the beginning, so that then they could play out in the situation that you're describing.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what they're doing. I think it's too fast. I think it creates pacing problems with the movie.
But this movie was over 2 hours long. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted it to be any longer. I don't.
No, I wanted the elements to stretch for more of the runtime. Like, instead of all this stuff happening in the first 20 minutes, I think it should happen slowly throughout the 2 hour runtime.
But that would make it a whole different movie where it's more about this character and it's more of like a drama maybe, but than a romantic comedy. You're talking about changing the movie entirely.
No, I think these background elements are things that can happen while the romantic stuff's going on. You could even use it to highlight how this romance is allowing her to grow more as a person. And he could be growing more as a person too.
Yeah, you don't see a ton of growth from him at all.
No. And I think that would be, and then when you have the obstacles to it, like the mom, I think we'd be more on their side of like, well, this is helping. Like, this is helping them. Like, love is, more powerful than whatever genetics. Like, this is helping them grow as people and stuff like that. And the mom's being a real bitch. I mean, like, you get the mom's being a bitch for sure. Yeah,
she is not a liked character.
But I think that's one of my problems with it too. However, now for the compliment sandwich, I guess.
Well, you're doing it backward.
Yeah, compliment. It's a compliment open face sandwich. The movie works for me. The movie works anyway. I saw Roger Ebert get excoriated this film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. But the movie works for me. So I disagree with him on this. The movie works for me because Juliette Lewis, Giovanni Ribisi, and Diane Keaton are all so fantastic in this movie.
Yeah.
We get Poppy Montgomery as one of the sisters, the blonde one that's getting married. She was in Dead Man on Campus, which we saw last year. And then someone named Sarah Paulson in, I've never seen her before, but she plays a lesbian. Mm-hmm. Which also, to me, is sort of shoehorned in there a little bit, just because we don't get a lot of it, but I guess we don't get a lot of anything from the other sisters anyway.
I mean, the one sister's getting married. That's kind of the background of the movie. And then the lesbian sister, it's like another way to showcase how this family is so unaccepting and, trying to pigeonhole the daughters.
Yeah, the family's definitely, it's old money, kind of like, stuffy attitudes. Like, I mean, Tom Skerritt does always look like he belongs on a yacht. But he's got that great gray hair, But, yeah, like, Diane Keaton does a fantastic job as this just, like, uptight patriarch. Everything's for appearances, What are the people at the club going to think, and all this shit and everything. Like, that's who she is, and she embodies that. And that's a real person. Mm-hmm. Like, that. There are real people like that out there.
That is a scary thought, but I know that's true.
But yeah, so she's doing a great job, and Giovanni Ribisi and Juliette Lewis, their portrayal, I think, is good. I think it's mostly respectful of people with mental retardation. Like I said, as written, I don't think it's super authentic, but what they're doing brings a real charm and gravitas to the whole thing, and I think it's good. Mm-hmm. It's good because the movie hangs on their portrayals, especially Juliette Lewis's, and it works because of that, because of how great of a job the three of them are doing.
I agree. I think the acting is a big part of what makes the movie work. And I mean, I do think it's a little, I don't know, pie-eyed maybe?
Yes.
Like,
that's a good way to put it.
I don't feel like it's realistic that these two people, especially as young as they are, would be able to come together and make a life together, and that we're supposed to just believe that that's going to work out.
Well, you said we were walking out of the theater, I give it 6 months, which I fucking died laughing at. But I don't agree. As written, I think they'll be married for the rest of their lives.
Oh, no. Like, they've had, like, 2 fights, and one of them resulted in him, like, going halfway across the country. They do not know...
It wasn't his choice.
They don't know how to fight without breaking up. And, like, just because they're married, I don't know if that's going to really, like, prevent them from being like, you know what, fuck you, I don't want to be with you anymore. She especially has an explosive temper.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just, like, I don't see them being able to tolerate each other as much as they may love each other. I don't think that they're going to make it work. And like her mother said, I don't think he can take care of you. Yeah, I don't think he can either. And unless mom and dad are going to like just funnel them money for the rest of their life.
They're rich.
Well, you know, that wasn't a given. They didn't pay for the wedding, you know, like
he wanted to, dad wanted to.
Yeah.
She said she insisted I don't.
I understand that, but the mom was very unsupportive. So, like, up until the mom decided to be accepting, I was thinking, like, they're going to die on the street.
But see, you're bringing reality into this movie, and this movie isn't reality. So, Gary Marshall directed Pretty Woman and Exit to Eden. Trying to think what else. He directed, you know, movies like that. The movies he directs are fairy tales. He's very into nostalgia. The soundtrack of this with the upbeat, like, you know, kind of like rock, easy listening, adult contemporary hits and stuff like that. That's very Gary Marshall. But, you know, like, because in Pretty Woman, they play the song Pretty Woman.
I love that. I love that movie. I love that song.
But, so, like, this is all very Gary Marshall. But, you know, like, you would think, like, prostitute, rich dude, or whatever, right? Like, that's not going to last either. But it's Cinderella. That's what Pretty Woman is.
Yeah.
And this is also a fairy tale. This is a fairy tale world with fairy tale characters. That's why I think, like, people, some of the critics, Roger Ebert included, that are ripping this movie apart don't get it. They don't understand what Gary Marshall's doing here. This isn't reality. Mm-hmm. You're bringing reality into the ending of this movie. You're saying, well, after this movie's over, reality is going to come crashing down, and they're actually mentally handicapped, and they can't take care of each other, or like, you know, whatever, and like they're not going to grow as a couple or whatever. Like, they're going to stagnate or whatever because it's hard for them to learn things and because that's part of it and everything. But you're bringing all this reality into it, and the movie is not interested in reality at all. Yeah. As written, as the world they exist in, they live happily ever after. That's what it is.
Okay. If you say so.
I'm just saying, as the movie's conceived, I'm sure that's what both of them are thinking, and they lived happily ever after. Might as well be the last line of this, because that's exactly what it is. In reality, yeah, I don't even think they get to the wedding, the chapel. You know? Yeah. But this movie obviously takes some inspiration from The Graduate, which they watched several times in the movie. But yeah, and you know, The Graduate has that dour kind of ending, where he interrupts her wedding, and then they get on the bus and stuff, and then it's like, oh, what now? Like, what are we gonna do?
I've never seen it, so
it's a good movie.
Isn't it about like she's like a grown up and he's like 17 or something, or
a grown up? She's Anne Bancroft. First of all, is the she you're referring to, and that's not the she whose wedding he interrupts. He's just graduated. He's from
high school or college.
I think college, but It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. But he's very young. I'm pretty sure college. He's very young or whatever, but yeah. He's dating a girl, and then the girl's mom seduces him. He ends up having an affair with the girl's mom.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plot of the
movie.
movie.
I know that's the plot of the movie, but the ending where you're talking about interrupting the wedding, I don't know.
It's the wedding of the original, the daughter.
Okay. So they go off together, and he'd been sleeping with her mom.
Yes.
And now they're supposed to make a life together.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah. So that's it's a very good movie, though. We should watch it at some point.
Okay.
But right after we watch He Said, She Said.
Okay.
With Elizabeth Perkins and Kevin Bacon.
Okay. I'll watch whatever.
You know, Jewish people can't watch Kevin Bacon's movies.
Oh my God, that's racist as hell.
Racist against Kevin Bacon's. Anyway. It would be racist to say if Jewish people can't watch Kevin Bacon's movies, how did any producers ever? Because they're all Jewish. Anyway.
But you're also saying that all Jewish people don't eat pork, which is not true.
They keep kosher, right? Exactly.
It's not true.
I know. I understand.
It's not like
I've had Jewish friends. I've seen their Hanukkah bushes during Christmas. Don't worry.
Okay.
I know they don't. I know they don't all keep kosher. They don't all have sex with a hole in the sheet either. You know, that's a Hasidic thing. Anyway, so I guess I would recommend the movie. Like I said, I think it rests entirely upon the strength of the performances because I think it's an underwritten film, and I think it's a poorly structured film. I think all the exciting stuff happens at the beginning, and some of the exciting stuff happens at the end, and then we get a lot of and then they kiss in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, but there's a little bit of interesting filmmaking going on with Gary Marshall, especially the scene at Thanksgiving when we get that everything is like shot from plate point of view. Mm-hmm. I think that's supposed to imply that because they're supposed to have sex later that night, she feels small. She feels like a little girl. She feels not ready. She feels underdeveloped. I think that's what it's supposed to imply. We don't see her face at all. We're literally in her point of view, seeing everyone else, and everything else is really big. Almost like she's a little kid. I think that's kind of the implication we're supposed to get, that she feels shrinking in this time.
You're so good at like picking stuff apart in a movie. Like I didn't get that impression at all. Mm-hmm. What I thought happened was that it was just feeling like rushed and impatient for the dinner to be over because she wanted to go have sex. But I hear what you're saying, and I think that's better.
Yeah. Well, because when she got there, I don't think she was rushing. Because when she got there, she was like, yeah, I'm scared though.
It hasn't. I think it's interesting that they had the Joy of Sex book, and that they were reading it together and like planning how they're gonna have sex and stuff like ahead of time. And
I'll do number 4 and number 6. I do not want to do number.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was smart though. Like I think that was way more mature than pretty much anybody would be about their first time having sex.
Well, I do think that they must be close. If it's a spectrum of mental retardation or developmental delay or whatever they call it, mental handicap, I think they're closer to what you would consider quote unquote normal or whatever. Mm-hmm. They're closer to normal. At least she is anyway. I think he might be a little more severe than her. She's closer to that than a lot of people are. She does get a 77. She passes her class.
Yeah,
that's a great moment of triumph when she passes the class and she's all excited, and then he looks at his grade and he did not pass.
Yeah,
and it's like we get just crushed.
Yeah, it sucked. It was like they went to the dance. They were all excited to go to the dance. Mm. And then it gets ruined because she's so excited to go look at her grade. And it would have been fine if he hadn't failed, but like that just ruined their whole rest of their night.
Yeah, and so like I guess the implication is that school's not for him because it seems like he's not going back to school, that he's going to just find work.
Well, and he mentioned that like he was in high school until he got too old to go anymore and stuff, like whereas she completed whatever program she was in. So yeah,
her parents are just gonna. I mean, he got lucky. Like he fell in love with a
rich girl.
Rich girl. Yeah, like they're just gonna take care of them because that's what. I mean, they're paying for the apartment. Like they'll live in an apartment that they, the parents pay for and whatever, and like they'll have some kind of life. I think it will work. As written, I think it'll work out for them. Okay. In real life, I don't think it would, but
sure.
In as written, I think it will.
But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it the whole time. I know you had criticisms about pacing and all that, but it didn't feel bad to me. I didn't feel at any time like the movie was dragging or whatever.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think there were things that didn't work for me necessarily, but on the whole, especially because of the strength of the performances, I do think it works. You get the emotional roller coaster throughout the movie, and that's what you come to a movie like this for. This movie's about emotion. It's not about big ideas or stuff like that. It's about human connection, and usually in a movie, the strength of the human connection comes from, one, the writing, and two, the performances. And the performances carry the day in this one, I think.
It was, definitely worth seeing for no other reason than the acting, yes.
But that was the episode. Carol, why don't you tell people where they can find The Graduate?
You can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com and share the tapes with your friends.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.